welcome to part 2. So if you are here, you probably already watched part 1, but if you didn't, basically I explained that the beginning of my process for devotional writing is sitting with a verse, reading the passage it comes through, praying over it, then writing what it means in context to the reader, so like what it means for a preteen or teen girl, making a list of questions that they can kind of chew on as they're processing it, and then finally kind of like an intro to prayer. Today I want to talk to you about the next step, which is sending it over to my mentor. So my mentor is this amazing woman named Makara, and Makara, she has experience with writing curriculum, so she has been a massive help in this entire process, but I've already made this draft and turned it into her, so I'll show you what it looks like when I send it into her and what her notes look like, and then I'll show you what I do to work through it. So to start off, I just want to let you know that we're going to be reviewing day 4 of my first section. So this is day 4 of the Fear of Man section. We're going to be covering Galatians 1:10. So we're just going to be working through what she's said I could work on, what I could build off of, the parts that are strong, the parts that need to be stronger. And then once I've finished working through her comments and suggestions, maybe adding a few touches of my own if I feel like something is struggling, that is the finalized version of one of my pages, and I can work towards publishing it on my website, which will be my final video. So I'll show you what I look like, what I'm looking at, and show you how I'm looking at it and how I've sent it to her, and then we can begin working from there. Okay, so this is what I see when I'm looking at my draft and working through it. The way I send it to Makara is I put everything on one giant draft. So I have one draft dedicated to the fear of man, one dedicated to the fear of Satan, and one dedicated to the fear of God. This one is my fear of Satan first draft, as you can see on the top, and I compress everything and put it onto one page each. So day 4 gets one page, and this is what I've written so far for day 4. Everything you see in the purple are notes that Makara has made, and then they also appear off to the side right here. So I add everything on here, she reads through it and leaves me all these notes, and I can begin to work through them. So to start with, I want to change this top part because Makara recommended that I actually include the verse in every day. She said it's easier for students to read. So I'm going to begin by adding that. As I read this popularity section, I can see that she's changing my wording to make more sense, which I obviously agree with because she has more experience talking to the younger audience than I do. I can see in here she has more adding like this note and fear is like to push me to continue this thought. She's pushing me to ask a more thorough question right here. And then here she's challenging me to connect it back to the fear of man in my prayer. So I'm going to begin to work through all of these, and I'll come back once I worked through them. So now you can see that all the purple is gone, as well as all the comments off to the side. I've worked through everything that she suggested, starting with adding the word read, adding the actual verse that I'm talking about, and then I went through and I changed a few things, like she recommended that I do cool crowd with a capital C and a capital C. I put it in parentheses to really emphasize this cool crowd idea that a lot of people can get stuck on. She also recommended that I turn this section back around, talking about seeking approval, back towards fear of man, because she felt like there wasn't enough fear of man connection here. So I built upon the idea with a rejection of who you are in hopes of being accepted by man. I remember she also said that she wanted me to build on the seeking out popularity again in this section, and so I did. She wanted me to build on this, and I honestly kept her wording because I felt like it was really powerful and it connected really well with what I was trying to say. And in the end, I turned it back around towards fear in my prayer by adding approval of others, and helping to fight back against the fear of man. So I know this process is actually a lot shorter than my other one, and I think that that's for a good reason. I think that this one is a lot just trying to make sure that my thoughts and my ideas are clear instead of trying to build it up, which is a lot easier in the long run, especially because Makara is an amazing mentor and she's a great guide. But yeah, she does a lot of really, really good. She does a very good job of saying when something needs to be built off of or when something needs to be added without giving me the exact answer. Because I think she knows, and I think we've both learned, that I'm the type of person who, if she tells me to do something, I'll do it to a T and not have my own personal touch. And we've worked through that, and I think I'm very proud of how far I've come. I'm really happy with how she steered me back towards the fear of man in this section, because I was reading back through and I do see how I was struggling to stay on track. But yeah, that's step 2. The last step now is going to be finishing all the drafts, finalizing them all, and then pre-reading, like proofreading. I know I already read it just now, but proofreading one final time before publishing them all to my website, which I'll make a video for, and that is my entire process. So thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you in part 3.